In the quaint village of Melody, where rivers hummed and trees whispered, lived an old poet named Rhymer. His home, filled with books and Ch was a sanctuary for all words enchanting and lyrical. Every evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of gold and purple, children gathered around Rhymer's cozy hearth for a special treat, a poem that twinkled with the magic of rhyme. Tonight was particularly special, for Rhymer promised to reveal the secret of his rhymes. With eager eyes and hushed voices, the children sat cross-legged around the flickering fire. "My dears," Rhymer began, his voice a soft echo, "the magic of a rhyme is not just in finding words that sound alike, but in the journey they take you on." He cleared his throat gently and out flowed verses about a daring cat, Felix, who wore a bright red hat. As Rhymer spun his tale, each line bounced merrily into the next, the sounds dancing seamlessly together. Cuddled next to the hear. Little Ellie, with her eyes wide in wonder, asked, "But how do you find words that sound so pretty together?" Rhymer chuckled, "Why? Listen. You listen to the beat of your heart, to the whispers of the wind, and sometimes," he paused, winking, "even to the snores of a nappy." In Cat, rhymes are everywhere. They unite words, people, and hearts. They make stories sing and dance right off the page. As the night deepened, the children carried within them the melody of Rhymer's words. They understood now how rhymes wove threads of joy and togetherness, binding them all in the warm, gentle embrace of stories well told. And the village of Melody, true to its name, never sounded sweeter.
Title: The Rhyme Rescue in the Cozy Village of Melody Haven. Gossip spread quickly about the sudden disappearance of rhymes. Poems turned into jumbles of mismatched words. Songs lost their rhythm. The town's most beloved poet, Old Man Reese, decided to take matters into his own hands. Equipped with nothing but his book and a battered old guitar, Reese set out towards the Whispering Woods, where it was said lived the mythical guardian of rhymes, a being who maintained the balance of words and verses in the world. The woods were dense and eerie, but Reese's determination was unfazed. With each step, he hummed ancient tunes, hoping to attract the guardian. Night fell, and in the moonlit darkness, a figure appeared, a creature made of pages from poetry books, its eyes glimmering with verses. "You have sought me, old poet. Why disturb my solitude?" The guardian's voice was a mix of prose and melody. "Oh, guardian, our village needs your help. Rhymes have vanished. And with them, joy. Help us restore our words," pleaded Reese. The guardian hummed thoughtfully, and then spoke. "The rhymes I protect have been taken by a spell of silence cast by the greedy silent serpent. To retrieve them, a true rhyme must be spoken, one from the heart and not just from memory." Reese thought deeply, then strummed his guitar, singing softly. "In Melody Haven near the sea, rhymes live and breathe so free. Bring back the sound, clear and bright, let words dance again in the light." The woods shimmered, and slowly, the stolen rhymes emerged from the shadows, weaving back into the world. "Thank you, brave poet. Your heart's true me has broken the spell," the guardian smiled. Reese returned home, a hero, his village once again a treasury of rhymes, rhythms, and joyful noises. The end. In the heart of a bustling city stood an old, cozy bookstore named Whispering Pages. Inside, an enigmatic competition was about to start, colloquially known as the Rhyme Time Challenge. The challenge, created by Mr. Penworthy, the elderly bibliophile store owner, was simple yet profound. Create a captivating short tale using only rhymes. Spectators filled every nook and their eyes gleaming with curiosity. Among them was a shy young girl named Elsie, her notebook clutched tightly against her chest. She had always harbored a secret love for poetry, finding solace in verses that danced effortlessly in her mind. As the clock struck 3, Mr. Penworthy cleared his throat. "Welcome, poets and dreamers. Let your rhymes enchant us all," he announced. NCED, his voice echoing amongst the rows of time-worn books. Contestants from all walks of life stepped up, reciting their creations. Tales of dragons, tales of seas, of winds whispering through. Trees. Some rhymes were punchy and quick, some grandiose and thick, but none seemed to strike that magical click. Elsie's heart thumped as her turn approached. Walking to the front, she faced the crowd, her voice barely a whisper. Slowly, and with each line, her confidence grew, her verses weaving a simple story of a tiny robin learning to fly. The rhyme was gentle, soothing. G. In the nest of challenge lies, under the vast, endless skies. Tiny robin, afraid to fall, dreams of soaring above all. One fine morn, with courage new, spreads her wings into the blue. The room fell silent, then erupted in cheers. There was magic in her simplicity, a vivid picture painted with merely a rhyme. Mr. Penworthy smiled, declaring her the winner. Elsie learned T. Had day that even in a sea of voices, one need not shout to be heard. Her rhymes, though soft, carried the weight of truth and beauty, resonating deeply with everyone who listened.
Once in the quaint village of Lyrical Lane lived a sweet old lady named Mrs. Eloise who believed in the magic of rhymes. She ran a little bookstore named Rhymes and R. Eason's, known far and wide not just for its vast collection of poetry books but for Mrs. Eloise's unique storytelling sessions every Thursday evening. One Thursday, as autumn leaves danced to the ground, a shy young boy named Timmy wandered into her store. Timmy, a stammerer, struggled daily with his words, often ending up frustrated and tongue-tied. That day, the theme was rhymes for every season, and as usual, the tiny shop was bursting at the seams with eager listeners. Mrs. Eloise began our tale with verses of spring's blooms and summer's warmth, transitioning gracefully into autumn's fall and winter's call. Her voice, a soothing melody, filled the room with comfort and joy. Timmy, however, sat at the back, too embarrassed to participate but mesmerized by the rhythmic flow of her rhymes. As the session concluded, Mrs. Eloise noticed Timmy's hesitance and offered him a private conversation. "Timmy," she said kindly, "words are like magic potions. Mix them in the right rhythm, and Hey can carry any fear away. Why not try creating a rhyme?" Encouraged by Mrs. Eloise's gentle nudge, Timmy took a deep breath and slowly began, "There lay just any, it's brief, autumn took its leap into the deep." To Timmy's surprise, not only did his words rhyme, but they flowed without interruption. A broad smile read across his face. From that day on, Timmy visited Mrs. Eloise every week, learning the art of rhyming. Poetic lines became his brave expressions, and his stammer gradually faded. In the heartwarming environment of rhymes and reasons, Timmy found his voice, discovering both rhythm and reason in the magical world of rhymes.
In the sleepy town of Evergrove, nestled between Whispering Woods and the sleepy Silver Stream, the children loved their afternoons in Mrs. Lindy's quaint little library. In the rows of colorful books, one shelf stood out, labeled, "Rhymes, the Heartbeat of Evergrove." Lyra, a spirited girl of 8, was particularly enchanted by rhymes, reading and creating them. One windy afternoon, while the leaves danced mischievously outside, Mrs. Lindy held a special gathering called the Rhyme Chime Time, a challenge for children to create and share their own rhymes. Lyra listened, eyes wide as saucers, as Mrs. Lindy began. "Rhyme binds the heart of Evergrove. Whoever crafts the most activating rhyme today will get a surprise," she declared, her voice tinged with mystery. Eager kids sat round the rug, notebooks ready. Lyra pondered deeply, her rhyme to capture the essence of their beloved town, something to resonate with everyone. She scribbled, erased, and scribbled again. Her heart drummed in her ears as her turn eared. Finally, holding her notebook like a shield, Lyra stood up. Clearing her throat, she began. In Evergrove, where whispers play, and the stream hums soft till break of day, where each leaf and stone, songbirds trill, tells a story, or shares a thrill. Here, hearts link like hands in a chain, in sunshine's gold, or weeping rain, gentle though Isis, laughter's rhyme, bind our souls and beat through time. Silence followed, then a burst of applause broke out, louder than the wind outside. Mrs. Lindy H. Joy announced, "Today, Evergrove's heart did indeed beat in rhyme." "Well done, Lyra." Presenting her with a beautiful, hand-painted bookmark, Mrs. Lindy concluded, "May Is bookmark remind you how rhymes can hold us all together, like a magic spell." And so, Lyra's rhyme became another heartbeat in the living, lyrical soul of Evergrove.
In the heart of bustling Newbury, there was an old, dusty bookstore named Whispers and Wonders, run by Mr. Elton, a grumpy yet kind-hearted old man. Among all the treasures was a peculiar little book titled simply, Rhymes. One rainy afternoon, a shy girl named Lila stumbled into the store to escape the sudden downpour. Her eyes, wide with curiosity, were drawn to the colorful spine of Rhymes. She pulled the bow from the shelf, and pages filled with whimsical illustrations and playful words unfolded before her. Excited, Lila took the book to Mr. Elton. "What's special about this book?" she asked. With a mysterious smile, Mr. Elton replied, "This book has a magic of its own. It doesn't just have rhymes, it creates them. Open it to any page, think of a word, and watch." Bemused, Lila opened the book, her finger landing on a page with a drawing of a sun. "Yellow," she whispered. Instantly, words began appearing on the page. Yellow like the morning sun, cheer. Full as a day begun. Daisies dance in fields anew, sky above of lightest blue. Eyes wide in astonishment, Lila watched the rhyme grow, words perfectly capturing what she imagined. Mr. Elton chuckled at her astonished expression. Every reader finds the rhymes that resonate with their heart, he explained. Enthralled, Lila spent the afternoon conjuring rhymes, each one a creation of her feelings and thoughts. She left with a copy of Rhymes, tucked under her arm. The sun pierced through the clouds, coloring the world in hues of gold. That day, Lila didn't just buy a book. She found a friend, a companion in creation. And in the heart of Newbury, a little more magic breathed.
In the heart of the small, sunlit park nestled among the bustling city streets, the air was alive with the raucous laughter and cheerful shouts of children dancing around a clown juggling brightly colored balloons. It was Saturday, and every child in the neighborhood, clad in their weekend best, had gathered for Mia's 7th birthday celebration. The sky was a brilliant azure. Barely a cloud in sight, providing a perfect backdrop for the vibrant balloons, reds, blues, greens, and yellows, that seemed to capture bits of the sunshine in their smooth, rubbery surfaces. The clown, with a knack for twisting and turning those balloons into shapes that defied imagination, had all the children spellbound. He crafted swords for the boys, crowns for the girls, and for Mia, a special unicorn, complete with a spiraled horn. Once each child had their balloon creation, the real fun began. Mia, holding tightly to her unicorn, let the soft grass, her friends in tow. The air was constantly pierced by the squeals of delighted laughter and the occasional pop of a balloon meeting its untimely end, only to be replaced by a new creation, twisted into existence by the smiling clown. Among the frolicking kids, little Tommy and Sarah found themselves in a playful duel, their balloon swords clashing with each burst of laughter. Every parry and thrust brought them closer, not just to giggling victory but to a friendship that was being woven tighter with each shared joke and smile. As the sun began to dip, casting long shadows over the park, parents gathered their joyful, slightly tired children. Hugs were exchanged, and balloons were carefully carried home. With simple joys and magical moments. In the days that followed, those balloons might deflate, but the memories, like the vivid colors of their play, would remain bright and cherished. Title: The Magic of Mistakes ***. Once upon a time in a small, bustling town named Willowbrook, there was a special school known simply as Kids Learn. It wasn't famous for its tall buildings or fancy playgrounds, but it was unique for its belief in the magic of mistakes. Jamie, a bright-eyed 7-year-old, stepped into Kids Learn on an autumn morning. He carried a backpack full of crisp notebooks and a heart full of eagerness. However, little secret, he was terrified of making mistakes. He worried that his mistakes would make him appear less clever in front of his friends and teachers. The first challenge came in Mrs. Lee's art class. The task was to paint a tree, but Jamie accidentally knocked over a container of blue paint, splatter. Ing his almost perfect tree with unexpected blue dots. Almost immediately, tears welled up in his eyes. But Mrs. Lee, with a gentle smile, pointed out. Look, Jamie, your tree now has a unique pattern. It's like cherry blossoms in spring but blue. Why don't we call it a magic mistake? Jamie, sniffy. Ing back tears, peered at his painting. It wasn't ruined, it was different, and beautifully so. Throughout the year, Jamie learned that Kids Learn as not just a name but a belief. Each class, from science experiments gone awry to misspelled words and spelling bee contests, was designed to show that errors were not dead ends but paths to discovery. By the end of the school year, Jamie wasn't just a bundle of nerves afraid to get things wrong. As a confident explorer, learning voraciously through missteps and blunders. With every mistake, the children at Kids Learn didn't just fill out their notebooks. They expanded their horizons, embraced creativity, and most importantly, unlocked the magic of learning. One beautiful mistake at a time.
In the small, sunny town of Maplewood, the local library stood as a beacon of knowledge and joy. Every summer, the library hosted the much-anticipated Kids Learn program, designed to blend fun with education and bring the community together. This summer, Mrs. Elsie, the librarian, decided to theme the program, Journey Through the Jungle. She transformed the reading room into a jungle filled with plush green vines, cardboard trees, and animals hidden in nooks. The children, ranging from 5 to 12, were divided into teams named after various jungle creatures. The first task was a scavenger hunt. Each team was given riddles that guided them through various sections of books, from mysteries and sciences to fairy tales and history. As the children solved each riddle, they were just hunting for the next clue but also stumbling upon fascinating facts about the world. For example, Team Tiger learned about the water cycle while searching for a clue near a display of rainforest books, whereas Team Snake discovered the story of the first moon landing, tucked away in the space exploration section. In addition to reading, there was a storytelling corner where children listened to tales from different cultures, encouraging respect and understanding of various traditions around the world. As the week progressed, friendships blossomed among the teams. They learned the importance of teamwork, communication, empathy by working together. On the final day, parents were invited to see what their children had learned. Each team performed a skit or shared stories about their adventures. Mrs. Elsie, looking around at the excited, chattering groups, felt a warm glow of satisfaction. The Kids Learn program had not only read a love of reading and learning in the children but also taught them valuable life skills, proving once again that learning can be a thrilling adventure.
Asterisk title. The Lemonade Stand on a sunny Sunday morning, Emma, aged 8, and her brother, Theo, aged 10, decided to start a lemonade stand right outside their suburban home. It wasn't just to fill their piggy banks. Emma had recently learned about charity and helping others in school, and she was eager to put her lessons into practice. Let's donate the money we earn to the local animal shelter, Emma suggested enthusiastically, remembering class visit to the shelter. That's a cool idea, Theo agreed. As he pulled out a worn-out chalkboard to scribble their prices on, they decided 50 cents a cup was fair. Setting up their stand with a colorful banner and cups, they started squeezing lemons with all their might. Their mom contributed a big bag of sugar and a pitcher, while their dad brought out a table and a pair of chairs. Family teamwork in full swing. As the first customer trickled in, drawn by the kids' giggles and signs, the children's confidence bloomed. They learned to greet customers with a smile, explain where their earnings were going, and even handle a few not-so-friendly comments about their kid-made lemonade. Around noon, a surprise visitor stopped by their school teacher, Mrs. Foster, along with her pet dog. They chatted about the shelter and the importance of community help. You kids are making a big difference just by doing something small, she said, stirring pride in Emma and Theo. By sunset, Emma and Theo counted their earnings. They had raised $67. More importantly, they had learned the power of initiating change, the essence of customer service, and the joy of teamwork. The next tea day at school, Emma couldn't wait to share their success story, filled with newfound knowledge and the sweet taste of lemonade on her tongue. Title: The Garden Lesson. In the quaint town of Greenwood, nestled between whispering woods and sunlit plains, the Greenwood Elementary School stood as a beacon of learning and wonder. Among its many lively spaces, the school's garden was the liveliest, teeming not just with plants but with bustling, eager kids during the Kids Learn program. Why Friday afternoon, Ms. Lily, a teacher with eyes as bright as her name suggested and a love for nature as deep as the roots of the oldest oak, led the program. She believed at the best lessons were those learned through hands-on experience. This Friday was special. It was Earth Day, and the lesson was about the importance of bees in the ecosystem. The garden was abuzz, quite literally, with the soft drone of bees hard at work. Why do we have flowers around the vegetables? Asked little Emma, her hands deep in the soil. Planting marigolds. They help each other grow, piped up Sam, who had been paying close attention to Ms. Lily's lessons. That's right, Sam, they're called companion plants. And do you know who helps them the most? Ms. Lily smiled, encouraging further curiosity. The bees, chorused the children, excited. Yes, bees pollinate the plants, helping our garden bloom. Without them, we'd have fewer apples, cherries, and many other fruits and vegetables, explained Ms. Lily, handing out magnifying glasses. Let's observe them. Safely, the children tiptoed around, watching bees flutter from flower to flower, their tiny bodies dusted with pollen. Their amazement was palpable. Each tiny discovery met wide-eyed wonder. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in strokes of orange and pink, the day's lesson settled in the young minds. Not just in their understanding of bees and plants, but in respecting and valuing the smallest creatures and their role in our world. Through dirt-stained hands and innocent eyes, the future stewards of nature learned a vital lesson. Every little bit of life matters, a lesson imparted not just through words, but through the living, breathing classroom of Ms. Lily's garden. Little Maya was overjoyed.
It was her 6th birthday and the sun was shining bright. Her backyard was festively decorated with streamers and a rainbow of balloons bobbing in the gentle breeze. Invitations had been sent out, and soon, her friends would swarm into her little world of merriment. The centerpiece of the celebration was a grand balloon pit her father had FTED. Hundreds of balloons, red, blue, yellow, green, and every color one could imagine were gathered in a shimmering pool. The moment her friends arrived, they didn't hesitate. Like a flock of colorful birds, they dove into the sea of balloons. Laughter and squeals of delight filled the air as the balloons popped and the children bounced them off each other's heads. Among the fun and games, Maya found a large, shiny golden balloon with a silvery string. It seemed special. Holding it tightly, she decided this balloon would be her treasure for the doll. Why? As the afternoon sun turned golden, the kids lined up for the main event, the balloon relay. Each child had to keep a balloon in the air for as long as they could while running a show. RT distance, measured not just by speed but by how long they could keep their balloons from touching the ground, the challenge was exhilarating. Maya, holding her golden balloon, was determined. As the race commenced, she ran with all her might, tapping the balloon gently. Cheers erupted as she crossed the finish line, her golden balloon still afloat. Her beam was as dazzling as the balloon itself. Later, as the sun dipped below the horizon, each child was given a balloon to release into the twilight sky. They watched in awe as the colorful rifted into the fading light, their faces illuminated by the glow of success and the joy of companionship, marking the end of a perfect birthday fueled by imagination and balloons. In the heart of bustling Maplewood Park, the summer air was filled with the vibrant chatter of excited children. Among them was little Ellie, a sprightly 7-year-old with a head full of golden curls, who was particularly fascinated by the balloon vendor. With each step closer, her eyes widened in awe at the balloons dancing merrily in the breeze. Can I have one, please? Ellie tugged gently at her mother's sleeve, her gaze fixed on a bright red balloon that bobbed above the rest as if it was eager to play with Of course, darling, her mother smiled, handing a few coins to the vendor. Ellie grasped the string tightly, her heart soaring as high as her new red companion. Ed towards her friends, who were gathered around the playground. Look what I got. Together, they devised a simple game of balloon tag. Whoever held the balloon had to dodge the others, trying not to get tagged, and if tagged, they had to pass the balloon to the tagger. Giggles and shouts filled the air, creating a symphony of joy. The red balloon, held aloft, dipped and swayed, partaking in the children's mirth. As the game ensued, Ellie, now the holder of the balloon, ran with swift little steps, dodging her frying DS with gleeful agility. But in her excitement, she didn't notice the small rock by her foot. Tripping over, she let go of the string, and the red balloon began its ascent to the sky. Oh no, the children gasped, watching their playmate float away. It's okay, Ellie exclaimed suddenly, her disappointment turning to a bright smile. It's going to play tag with the clouds now. The children watched, mesmerized as the little red dot danced higher, touching the fluffy edges of a cloud. And in that innocent moment, our imaginations took flight with the balloon, each child dreaming of grand adventures high above. Sometimes, even lost balloons could create the happiest of endings.
Once in the small town of Windle, there was a sunny park filled with laughter every weekend, as children gathered to play. Among them was 8-year-old Mia, who was particularly fond of balloons. Behind her house, she had a little shed where numerous strings dangled from the ceiling, each tied to a colorful balloon, reds, blues, yellows, and greens that brightened the dim space. On one bright Saturday, Mia decided it was time for her balloons to see the park. With a wide grin, she herded her friends into her backyard, revealing her collection. "Let's take these to the park and give them a grand day out," she suggested excitedly. The group, RMS laden with bobbing balloons, made their way to the park. Upon arrival, Mia made a surprising announcement. "Let's play tag, but with a twist. Whoever is it has to hold a balloon." The air filled with gleeful shrieks and giggles as the game ensued. The it wielded their balloon like a wand, dashing about to tag someone else. Every now and then, a balloon would slip away into the sky, causing all the children to stop and watch its ascent with wide, wondrous eyes, before diving back into their playful fray. Time seemed to race by, and as the sun began to set, Mia gathered her friends. Looking at the few balloons that had survived the afternoon's excitement, she proposed one last game. "Let's see whose balloon can reach the clouds first," Mia said. Together, they lined up, each kid clutching the IR balloon's string. On Mia's count, they released them. The balloons soared higher, joining the earlier escapees in the sky, dancing away to distant adventures. As they watched, Mia felt the magic of sharing simple moments with friends, a joy as light and uplifting as the balloons themselves floating towards the heavens.
Once upon a time, in the small, cheerful town of Windale, a group of children gathered in the Central Park, their faces bright with anticipation for the weekly Saturday fun event. This week, it was a balloon play day, and the theme was Color the Sky. Each child received a helium balloon, provided lovingly by Mr. Higgins, the jolly old shopkeeper who adored the laughter of children more than anything else in the world. The children, ranging from little toddlers to sprightly 10-year-olds, each chose balloons in their favorite colors. Reds, blues, yellows, and greens flopped around in the gentle morning breeze, pulling at their strings as if eager to play with their young owners. "Listen up, kids," called out Mr. Higgins, clapping his hands to gather their attention. "Today, we're not just going to hold on to these beautiful balloons. We are going to paint with them." A wave of puzzled murmurs swept through the crowd, but the confusion soon turned into excitement when Mr. Higgins brought out trays of paint and large sheets of paper. The task was simple. Dip your balloon in paint and then bounce it on the paper, creating balloon prints. The park bubbled with joy as each balloon kissed the paper, leaving behind unique, colorful circles. Some children experimented by making patterns, while others laughed gleefully at the random arrays of colors. Even parents joined in, unable to resist the infectious, playful spirit of their children. As the day dwindled, the paper sheets around the park looked like giant canvases of abstract art, each telling the lively story of a child's creativity and enjoyment. The balloons, though now splattered with layers of paint, still floated proudly above the heads of their young artists. Afterwards, as the children went home, their exhausted but happy faces were a rewarding sight. Indeed, it had been a simple play with balloons, yet it painted a memorable day of joy and shared laughter, coloring not just the sky but also their hearts.
In the heart of bustling Maplewood Park, laughter filled the air as vibrant balloons danced against the backdrop of a clear, blue sky. It was the day of THE Annual Balloon Fiesta, a day eagerly awaited by all children in town. Among the many excited faces was 7-year-old Mia, with her bouncy curls and eyes sparkling with mischief. Today, she had a mission: to gather the most unique collection of balloons. As the children darted around, Mia found herself drawn to a gigantic, rainbow-colored balloon tethered to an old oak tree. Next to the rainbow balloon stood an elderly man named Mr. Wilkins, known for his spectacular balloon creations. Noticing Mia's interest, he smiled and asked, "Would you like to try something fun with this balloon, dear?" Mia nodded eagerly. With a wink, Mr. Wilkins handed her a string attached to the large balloon and whispered some instructions into her ear. Mia's task was to run across T. He field, letting the balloon swoop down low and then sail high up into the air as she changed pace. Delighted by the challenge, Mia gripped the string TIG. HTLY. Off she went. She ran as fast as her little legs could carry her, giggling as the balloon mimicked a colorful kite. It swooshed down near her. Who cheered and attempted to touch it, then soared high when she sprinted with all her might. Her laughter was infectious, and soon more children joined in with their balloons. They organized races, seeing whose balloon could touch the ground and then shoot up the highest with their varying speeds and styles. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, the park was alive with the spirit of joy and the dance of colorful balloons. Was a simple play of kids with balloons, yet it was magical enough to create memories that would last a lifetime in the hearts of those children. Asterisk title: The Great Balloon Race * in the quiet town of Willowdale. A unique event marked the beginning of spring each year. The Willowdale Balloon Festival. This year, amidst the color tents and cheerful crowds, an array of bright balloons covered the sky, painting it in hues of vibrant blues, radiant reds, and sunny yellows. 8-year-old Mia and her younger bro, Jamie, were buzzing with excitement. It wasn't just any balloon festival. It was the year they would finally participate in the Kids Balloon Chase, a game designed for children. Each participant received a biodegradable balloon, and whoever's balloon flew the farthest, measured by tags returned to the festival committee, would win a special prize. Think our ball balloons could reach the other side of the forest? Jamie asked, his eyes wide with wonder. Maybe even farther, Mia responded confidently, tying her balloon securely to her wrist. They listened intently as the rules were explained, their hearts pounding in anticipation. Finally, the whistle blew, and a sea of vibrant orbs soared into the sky, tugged by the gentle spring breeze. Mia and Jamie released their balloons and watched them float upwards, joining the colorful dance above. The festival grounded itself in Community Park, where laughter and joy mingled. Children and parents alike enjoyed mock races, games, and delicious treats. However, Mia and Jamie kept one eye on the sky, tracking their balloons until they were mere dots. Later, a letter arrived for Jamie and Mia. Jamie's balloon had traveled the farthest, found by a family several towns over. Ecstasy and pride swelled in their chests as they read the note. Aloud. Jamie had won a beautiful model airship and a certificate. From that year forward, the balloon festival wasn't just a display of colors and joy, but it also symbolized possibility and adventure that could transcend beyond the gentle hills of Willowdale. For Mia and Jamie, it was an annual reminder that sometimes, letting go is the way to catch your dreams.
Kids play with balloons. It was a brilliant Sunday morning, and the park was alive with the laughter of children and the chatter of adults. Today was the annual Family Fun Day, and the highlight for most kids was the giant balloon stand filled with balloons of every imaginable color and shape. Little Mia, DS sticky with ice cream, tugged at her mother's hand, her eyes wide with wonder. "Mommy, can I have a balloon? Please," she pleaded, pointing at the swirling array of colors floating gently in the breeze. "Of course, sweetheart," her mom smiled, leading Mia towards the balloon vendor. "What color would you like?" asked the friendly man behind the stand. "Purple," Mia exclaimed without hesitation, the color of princesses and magic. The vendor handed her a shiny purple bee. And her face lit up as she thanked him gleefully. Nearby, a group of boys were engaged in what seemed to be a serious competition. Each had a balloon tied to their ankle, and the aim was to pop each other's balloon without losing their own. Laughter and playful yells filled the air as they dodged and darted around each other. Meanwhile, little Mia, with her purple balloon securely tied to her wrist, joined other children at the crafts table. They were making balloon animals, and she watched in awe as a volunteer twisted a long balloon into the shape of a little dog. Mia's attempts were clumsy at first, but with gentle guidance, she soon held up a balloon twisted into a rough shape of a cat, her favorite animal. As the day wore on, the sky began to fill with balloons. End test was underway. Kids released their balloons into the sky, making wishes as they let them go. Mia kissed her balloon before letting it slip into the blue, whispering her wish for a new kitten. The park, bathed in the late afternoon sun, was a spectacle of joy, balloons, and the innocent dreams of children.
In the heart of a bustling park filled with the laughter and chatter of a sunny Saturday, young Mia and her brother Jamie found a new amusement that wasn't on the playground. They stumbled upon a curious old man who crafted animals from balloons. His face bore the soft crinkles of many smiles, and he gifted each child a balloon with a promise that these were no ordinary inflatables. Mia received a bright red balloon twisted into the shape of a butterfly, while Jamie clasped a blue one shaped like a whale. With the balloons in hand, they were ready for adventure. Let's pretend these balloons can fly us to the sky, Jamie exclaimed, his imagination already soaring. Mia nodded eagerly, clutching her butterfly balloon tightly as she closed her eyes, imagining it fluttering UPW. Bards. Laughing and shouting, they ran across the grass, their balloons trailing behind them like colorful comets against the clear blue sky. Each gust of wind that caught the loops and tails of balloons added fuel to their imaginative fire. Look, Mia, we're flying over mountains now. Jamie pointed towards the heaps of clouds rolling like distant peaks. And there, do you see? A forest where fairies live, Mia added, her eyes sparkling with the magical landscape her mind painted. They ducked and dodged, pretending to weave through the dense, enchanted woods. For hours, Mia and Jamie lived 1,000 stories, their balloons not just toys but bridges to mystical lands. As the sun began to set, the balloons, slightly deflated, still floated, carrying their tails. Her called them back, and reluctantly they ended their journey, their faces glowing with joy, their hearts filled with adventures. They thanked the balloon man, who winked and whispered, "Come back anytime for more adventures." As they left the park, the balloons bobbed behind them, not just bits of rubber filled with air, but cherished memories of a day spent in wild, wondrous play.
At the heart of Elmwood Park, children's laughter mingled with the vibrant colors of countless balloons, painting the sky with joy. It was the annual Autumn Balloon Festival, an event especially magical for the little ones. Among the excited children was 7-year-old Mia and her younger brother, Jamie, each clasping a string with a bright red balloon dancing at the end. Mia, adventurous and lively, had a plan. "Let's see whose balloon can touch the sky first," she challenged, her eyes sparkling with excitement. The contest was simple yet thrilling. They would release their balloons and see who's climbed the highest before shrinking out of sight. Standing side by side, they counted down, 3, 2, 1, let go. The two red spheres soared upwards, cheered on by the giggling duo. Mia's balloon took an early lead, catching a swift breeze, but Jamie's balloon was quick to follow. "Go, go, go," Jamie shouted, jumping up and down with energy that seemed to fuel his balloons as scent. The children ran across the grass, heads tilted backwards, eyes following their aerial racers. As the balloons ascended higher, Mia clasped Jamie's hand, TTING about the competition and focusing instead on the shared wonder of the moment. The red dots shrank, but the excitement grew, the possibility that their balloons could actually touch the clouds felt real. Ultimately, both balloons vanished into the blue expanse, and neither Mia nor Jamie could declare a winner. It didn't matter though, the real prize was the gleam in their eyes, a mix of joy and awe. Joining their friends, they continued to play under the lingering confetti sky, the day fading into a beautiful, laughter-filled evening. The balloons might have drifted away, but the memories tethered firmly in their young hearts would stay forever.
One warm sunny day, a gentle breeze whispered through the bustling park, caressing the leaves and coaxing laughter from children at play. Among them was 7-year-old Maya, whose eyes sparkled with delight at the sight of colorful balloons bobbing in the air at the park's entrance. "Ella, look," Maya exclaimed, tugging at her older sister's hand as they approached a balloon vendor. The man smiled behind his cart, a rainbow of balloons swaying cheerfully above him. "How about a blue one?" Ella suggested, knowing it was Maya's favorite color. Maya nodded eagerly, her eyes locked onto a shiny blue balloon that seemed to dance just for her. With a nod from Ella, the vendor handed the balloon to Maya, who grasped it tightly, her smile as wide as the sky above. "Let's play a game," Ella proposed. "Ed, let's see who can keep their balloon in the air the longest without letting it touch the ground." With a burst of excitement, the sisters each tapped our balloons lightly, sending them aloft. Maya giggled as she skillfully kept her balloon airborne, her little legs dancing around the green grass as she played. However, distracted by a butterfly fluttering by, Maya watched in horror as her balloon descended towards a prickly bush. With a heroic leap, Maya string just in time, saving her balloon from a pokey fate. Breathing a sigh of relief, she looked up to find Ella clapping and laughing at her swift save. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, the sisters sat on a park bench, their balloons tied securely beside them. "Today was fun," Maya said, resting her head on Ella's shoulder. "The best kind of fun," Ella agreed, "the kind with balloons and my little sister."
In the heart of a bustling city park, under the golden glow of a setting sun, a group of children played with a myriad of colorful balloons. Each balloon danced in the air, reflecting a rainbow of colors that rivaled the flowers blooming around them. Little Emma, a spirited 5-year-old with pigtails, held tightly to a bright red balloon. Its shine caught the eyes of her friends, who each boasted balloons of their own. Jacob, his blue balloon bobbing above his head, challenged Emma to a contest that was eagerly accepted. The game was simple. Keep your balloon afloat without using hands. Giggles and cheery shouts filled the air as the kids kicked, blew, and batted their balloons, trying desperately to keep them airborne. The park was alive with the laughter of their innocent play, while parents watched fondly, immortalizing the moments with their cameras. Suddenly, a mischievous breeze swooped in, weaving through the game. Emma's red balloons slipped away, soaring towards the clouds. Her face fell for a brief moment, eyes lifting skyward, tracking its ascent. Seeing her dismay, Jacob ran up, his own balloon forgotten, and pulled from his pocket a spare, a shiny green one. "For you," he said, handing it to Emma. Her face brightened instantly, a wide smile replacing her frown as she thanked Jacob. The balloons, however, weren't done with their show. The balloon caught on a low-hanging branch, escaping the clutches of the breeze. Jacob helped retrieve it, and soon Emma had 2 balloons, her joy doubled. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, the children continued their play, their laughter echoing with each laugh and giggle. The balloons weren't just objects of play but symbols of friendship, togetherness, and the simple, unconditional joys of childhood. Title: The Magic Paintbrush in the quaint village of Willowbrook. a small school sat at the edge of a whispering forest. The children of Willowbrook were curious and bright, always eager to learn new things. One day, a new art teacher, Mrs. Lila, arrived with a box of magic paintbrushes. These brushes holds a special power, Mrs. Lila announced with a twinkle in her eye. They will paint whatever you imagine, but there's a catch, yo. You must learn something new about the subject you wish to paint. Excited, the children grabbed the brushes and began to think. Little Tommy, always fascinated by animals, decided to learn about owls. He read books and watched documentaries. With each fact he learned, his magic brush painted more vividly, the feathers more intricate, the eyes brighter. Next to him, Emma, who loved the stars, chose to paint the night sky. She learned about constellations, the phases of the moon, and the Milky Way. Her canvas soon glowed with a stunning portrayal of the night, stars twinkling softly. Acros. The room. Lucas was interested in underwater life. As he read about coral reefs and the creatures that inhabited them, his painting started brimming with colors and life, showcasing an impressive underwater ecosystem. By the end of the week, the classroom was filled with breathtaking artworks, each a reflection of the new knowledge the children had acquired. Mrs. Lila smiled, proud of her students. In this class, you didn't paint, you learned about the world, she said. Remember, knowledge is like a paintbrush. With it, you can create wonders. The children nodded, understanding that with every new thing they learned, they didn't just fill their minds but also painted their own worlds a little more beautifully. In the heart of Sunnydale, nestled between the whispers of the towering oak trees, was Sunnydale Elementary, a place where every corner buzzed with the promise of discovery. Among its vibrant halls was a particular classroom bathed in the sunlight, known affectionately as Room 19 Inches, where Mrs. Thompson taught her class. With a spark of magic found only in stories. One balmy Thursday, Mrs. Thompson unveiled a giant, colorful map, spreading it across the floor like a treasure maw. Paige, today, we're going on an adventure, she announced, her eyes twinkling with excitement. The children gathered around, their faces lit with curiosity. At the heart of their circle was little Max, a boy with a keen imagination but a shy voice, often drowned out by louder peers. We'll travel with our fingers and leer and about each place we visit, explained Mrs. Thompson, dropping a fake, glittery passport in front of each child. Every new country earns a stamp. The more you learn, the more you earn. The room buzzed as fingers darted from Brazil's rainforests to the icy landscapes of Antarctica. Max, however, hesitated, his finger hovering timidly over India. Mrs. Thompson noticed and knelt beside him. Go on, Max, what wonders does India hold? Encouraged, Max whispered, the Taj Mahal. Yes, and do you know why it was built? Mrs. Thompson nudged gently. Max's face brightened as he recalled a snippet from a documentary. For love, exactly. Mrs. Thompson beamed. See, every place has a story, just like us. As the adventure unfolded, Max's voice grew. With each country visited and each stamp earned, his confidence surged. By the end of the day, not only had Max learned about the world, but he had also found his voice in it. Back at home, to tell his parents about his journey through the colorful map and the stories he had gathered, his eyes shining with newfound confidence and curiosity.
Title: The Lost Pencil Adventure * In the small town of Willowbrook, a young boy named Sammy was known for his curious mind and adventurous spirit. Nay sunny afternoon, while packing his backpack, Sammy realized his favorite blue pencil was missing. Distraught but determined, he decided it was time for an investigation. Wearing his detective cap, Sammy embarked on a quest throughout his house. First stop, the living room. He found crumbs leading endure the sofa and followed the trail, only to discover a small colony of dust bunnies, not his pencil. Next, he dashed to the kitchen where his mother was baking cookies. Sammy enlisted her help, and together they searched high and low. In the pantry, beside a box of cereal, his mother found her lost earring. "See, Sammy," she smiled, "every search teaches us something new." Not giving up, Sammy ventured into the garden. He checked beneath the flower beds, around the bushes, and finally near his treehouse. As he climbed up, he heard a small thump. There, in the corner, lay his blue pencil, but it wasn't just the pencil he found. Nestled beside it was his old comic book he thought he'd lost months ago. Triumphant, Sammy learned that sometimes, looking for one thing leads you to discover much more. He also realized the importance of organizing his things better. That evening, as he sat down to draw with his recovered blue pencil, he started listing all he had learned on his adventure. Finding lost things can be fun, and helping others feels good. Also, keeping things tidy saves time, he told his dog, who wagged his tail in agreement. With a grin, Sammy added, and adventures can happen anywhere, even at home. From that day, every lost item brought a new little adventure and lesson for Sammy, making every day a bit more exciting.
Title: The Painted Sky Asterisk. In the little town of Meadowville, nestled between lush hills and sparkling streams, the Meadowville Elementary School hosted its annual TS and Science Fair. Among its bustling corridors of creativity, an eager group of third graders, guided by their teacher Miss Lila, embarked on a project titled, Kids Learn the Magic of Colors. Sophie, a curious and enthusiastic 8-year-old, was particularly excited. The class project involved painting, which was her favorite activity. But there was a twist. They had to mix their primary colors to create new ones and then use these new colors to paint a giant mural of the sky at different times of the day. Miss Lila began the lesson with a simple demonstration. "When we mix red and blue, what color do we get?" she asked. "Purple," the children shouted in unison, their eyes wide as they watched the colors blend on the palette. "And what if we mix red and yellow?" Miss Lila continued. "Orange," they responded, eager to try it themselves. Palettes in hand, the children started experimenting, mixing colors and testing out different shades on their papers. Sophie, with a focused WN, combined an unusual amount of blue with a dab of yellow, marveling at the new shade of green she had created. As they moved on to painting the mural, the children depicted a sunrise, midday, sunset, and night sky using the colors they created. Sophie's unique green beautifully illustrated the grass under the early morning sky, shimmering with dew. At the fair's end, parents and teachers admired their work. Sophie stood in front of the mural, her heart swelling with pride. She had not only learned about colors but also about teamwork, patience, and the joy of sharing knowledge. Miss Lila smiled at her pupils. "See, every color you mix, every stroke you paint, teaches you something new. Never stop learning, because the world," she gestured towards the mural, "is as vast and beautiful as the sky you've painted today."
Asterisk title: The Colorful Garden. Asterisk Sunny, a curious 7-year-old with sparkly eyes and a mop of brown curls, trotted behind his mom into their small garden, clutching a packet of seeds that looked as magical as the tales his grandma told. "What are those?" Sunny asked, peering into the packet. Essay, Sunny, are zinnia seeds, his mom replied, trowel in hand, her face lit by the golden afternoon sun. Zinnia? Sunny stuttered the unfamiliar word, trying to wrap his young mind around it. "Yes, they grow into beautiful flowers of many colors. But they need soil, water, sunlight, and love to BL." Sunny's eyes widened. "Can I help them grow?" Of course. Gardening is like going to school for plants. You learn how to take care of them, and they learn how to grow from you, his mom explained, showing him how to make small holes in the soil. Intrigued, Sunny dropped seeds carefully into each hole, covered them with earth, and sprinkled water with the seriousness of a seasoned gardener. Each day, he rushed from school to water his zinnias up. ND checked their growth. He learned patience, as the seeds took time to sprout, and responsibility, never forgetting to tend to them, rain or shine. Later, sprouts pierced the earth. Sunny was ecstatic. Mom, they're growing. Yes, just like you, a little every day. Sunny beamed, proud of his FL. Nourishing garden. By summer's end, the zinnias bloomed in vibrant oranges, pinks, yellows, and whites. I taught them to grow, Sunny exclaimed one son. NY afternoon, staring in awe at the splash of colors. His mom smiled, kneeling beside him. And they taught you, too, about nature, care, and growth. Sunny nodded, understanding that learning was not just in books or schools but in every little corner of life, even in a garden filled with zinnias.
Asterisk title. The Magic Paintbrush Asterisk. In the heart of Willowdale, there lived a young boy named Leo. Leo loved to paint, but he often struggled with choosing the right colors. He wished for a magical way to learn and make his art better. One sunny afternoon, while strolling through Mr. Baxter's old shop of wonders, Leo stumbled upon a dusty, old paintbrush tucked behind a stack of faded sketchbooks. Intrigued, he picked it up, and Mr. Baxter, noticing his interest, said, "Ah, that's the magic paintbrush. It has a special power. It changes color to teach its holder about the world." Excited and a bit skeptical, Leo thanked Mr. Baxter and hurried home. His tiny attic room, he dipped the paintbrush in water and touched it to his paint palette. Instantly, the brush glowed, and as he began to paint, the colors on his canvas shifted, blending perfectly without any effort from him. With each stroke, images of different places around the world appeared, vivid scenes of a bustling mall. Rket in Morocco, serene mountains in Switzerland, and vibrant festivals in Brazil. Each painting was not only beautiful but also perfectly captured the essence of T's distant lands. Leo realized that through each scene, the paintbrush was teaching him about different cultures, the diversity of nature, and the beauty of human expressions. He learned to appreciate and understand the world better, which also improved his skills as an artist. Months passed, and Leo's paintings attracted sitters from far and wide. They marveled at his ability to depict such true-to-life colors and emotions. Leo always smiled and shared his secret: "It's all thanks to the magic paintbrush, which teaches me something new every day." And so, Leo continued to paint, learn, and grow, forever grateful for the magical journey he experienced through his enchanted brush. Each canvas was not just a painting but a lesson in life, vibrant and vivid, learned from the heart of the world itself. In the heart of Sunnydale, there was a little yellow school called Kids Learn, a place buzzing with children's laughter and curious eyes, each morning led with new stories and little adventures. Among these young explorers was Max, a bright-eyed 7-year-old with an insatiable curiosity about everything. Ma X's favorite place was the Discovery Zone, a corner of the classroom filled with books, science kits, and puzzle boards. One rainy Tuesday, Ms. Harper, the ever-smiling teacher, introduced the class to the idea of planting. With little pots lined up and seeds in hand, each child was about to embark on a journey of growth, both literally and figuratively. Max received a sunflower seed and was instantly fascinated by the promise that this tiny speck could transform into a giant, bright flower. Every day, Max and his friends watered their seeds and kept records in their plant diaries. They drew pictures of what They imagined their plants would look like, and Max always drew his sunflower towering over him, a golden giant watching over the playground. Days passed, and frustrations brewed when all they saw was soil. Max's excitement waned, but Ms. Harper encouraged patience and nurtured their young minds with stories. The farmers who waited seasons for their crops. Max learned that good things took time and care. Finally, one morning, the children arrived to find tiny outs pushing through the soil. Cheers erupted across the room. Over weeks, Max watched his sunflower sprout leaves and then, one bright morning, bloom into a magnificent yellow flower. Max learned more than just how plants grew. He discovered the virtues of patience, care, and the joy of achievement through persistence. Kids Learn wasn't just a school. It was a garden where little minds blossomed, full of dreams and nurtured by the tender love of learning.
Title: The Starry Lesson. Once in the quiet town of Willowbrook, there lived a curious little boy named Timmy. Every night, he watched the stars from high S bedroom window and wondered about the vast universe. His questions were endless, and his parents decided it was time for a little adventure. They planned a visit to the local planetarium for Timmy's 7th birthday. On the day of his birthday, Timmy was bursting with excitement. As they approached a large, dome-shaped building, his eyes sparkled with wonder. Inside, they were greeted by Ms. Stella, the planetarium director, who had a warm smile and a passion for teaching about the cosmos. "Welcome, Timmy. Today, you'll learn about the stars and how they guide us," she said, leading them to a room where the ceiling resembled a night sky, brimming with stars. The lights dimmed, and the show began. Constellations lit up one after another, each accompanied by legends and scientific facts. Ms. Stella explained how sailors used the stars for navigation and how different cultures saw different pictures in the same clusters of stars. Timmy was fascinated, especially by the Big Dipper. It points to the North Star, which helps travelers find their home, explained Ms. Stella. After the show, Timmy received a star map and a small telescope as gifts. That night, he couldn't wait to set up his telescope. With the star map in hand and his parents beside him, he found the Big Dipper and followed it to the North Star. "Look, Mom, Dad, I'm a navigator now," Timmy exclaimed with joy. From that day on, Timmy learned something new from the stars each night. His early fascination with the night sky blossomed into a lifelong love for astronomy, reminding him that learning was not just about seeking answers but also about continuing to wonder.
Title: The Garden Lesson. In the quaint town of Greenwood, nestled between whispering woods and sunlit plains, the Greenwood Elementary School stood as a beacon of learning and wonder. Among its many lively spaces, the school's garden was the liveliest, teeming not just with plants but with bustling, eager kids during the Kids Learn program. Why Friday afternoon, Ms. Lily, a teacher with eyes as bright as her name suggested and a love for nature as deep as the roots of the oldest oak, led the program. She believed at the best lessons were those learned through hands-on experience. This Friday was special. It was Earth Day, and the lesson was about the importance of bees in the ecosystem. The garden was abuzz, quite literally, with the soft drone of bees hard at work. "Why do we have flowers around the vegetables?" asked little Emma, her hands deep in the soil. "Planting marigolds. They help each other grow," piped up Sam, who had been paying close attention to Ms. Lily's lessons. "That's right, Sam. They're called companion plants. And do you know who helps them the most?" Ms. Lily smiled, encouraging further curiosity. "The bees," chorused the children, excited. "Yes, bees pollinate the plants, helping our garden bloom. Without them, we'd have fewer apples, cherries, and many other fruits and vegetables," explained Ms. Lily, handing out magnifying glasses. "Let's observe them." Safely, the children tiptoed around, watching bees flutter from flower to flower, their tiny bodies dusted with pollen. Their amazement was palpable. Each tiny discovery met wide-eyed wonder. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in strokes of orange and pink, the day's lesson settled in the young minds. Not just in their understanding of bees and plants, but in respecting and valuing the smallest creatures and their role in our world. Through dirt-stained hands and innocent eyes, the future stewards of nature learned a vital lesson. Every little bit of life matters, a lesson imparted not just through words, but through the living, breathing classroom of Ms. Lily's garden. Asterisk title. The lemonade stand *** on a sunny Sunday morning, Emma, aged 8, and her brother, Theo, aged 10, decided to start a lemonade stand right outside their suburban home. It wasn't just to fill their piggy banks. Emma had recently learned about charity and helping others in school, and she was eager to put her lessons into practice. Let's donate the money we earn to the local animal shelter, Emma suggested enthusiastically, remembering class visit to the shelter. That's a cool idea, Theo agreed. As he pulled out a worn-out chalkboard to scribble their prices on, they decided 50 cents a cup was fair. Setting up their stand with a colorful banner and cups, they started squeezing lemons with all their might. Their mom contributed a big bag of sugar and a pitcher, while their dad brought out a table and a pair of chairs. Family teamwork in full swing. As the first customer trickled in, drawn by the kids' giggles and signs, the children's confidence bloomed. They learned to greet customers with a smile, explain where their earnings were going, and even handle a few not-so-friendly comments about their kid-made lemonade. Around noon, a surprise visitor stopped by. Their schoolteacher, Mrs. Foster, along with her pet dog. They chatted about the shelter and the importance of community help. You kids are making a big difference just by doing something small, she said, stirring pride in Emma and Theo. By sunset, Emma and Theo counted their earnings. They had raised $67. More importantly, they had learned the power of initiating change, the essence of customer service, and the joy of teamwork. The next tea day at school, Emma couldn't wait to share their success story, filled with newfound knowledge and the sweet taste of lemonade on her tongue.
In the small, sunny town of Maplewood, the local library stood as a beacon of knowledge and joy. Every summer, the library hosted the much-anticipated Kids Earn program, designed to blend fun with education and bring the community together. This summer, Mrs. Elsie, the librarian, decided to theme the program, RNEY through the jungle. She transformed the reading room into a jungle filled with plush green vines, cardboard trees, and animals hidden in nooks. The child ranging from 5 to 12, were divided into teams named after various jungle creatures. The first task was a scavenger hunt. Each team was given riddles that guided them through various sections of books, from mysteries and sciences to fairy tales and history. As the children solved each riddle, they were just hunting for the next clue but also stumbling upon fascinating facts about the world. For example, Team Tiger learned about the water cycle while searching for a clue near a display of rainforest books, whereas Team Snake discovered the story of the first moon landing, tucked away in the space exploration section. In addition to reading, there was a storytelling corner where children listened to tales from different cultures, encouraging respect and understanding of various traditions around the world. As the week progressed, friendships blossomed among the teams. They learned the importance of teamwork, communication, empathy by working together. On the final day, parents were invited to see what their children had learned. Each team performed a skit or shared stories about their adventures. Mrs. Elsie, looking around at the excited, chattering groups, felt a warm glow of satisfaction. The Kids Learn program had not only read a love of reading and learning in the children but also taught them valuable life skills, proving once again that learning can be a thrilling adventure.
Title: The Magic of Mistakes. Once upon a time in a small, bustling town named Willowbrook, there was a special school known simply as Kids Learn. It wasn't famous for its tall buildings or fancy playgrounds, but it was unique for its belief in the magic of mistakes. Jamie, a bright-eyed 7-year-old, stepped into Kids Learn on an autumn morning. He carried a backpack full of crisp notebooks and a heart full of eagerness. However, little secret, he was terrified of making mistakes. He worried that his mistakes would make him appear less clever in front of his friends and teachers. The first challenge came in Mrs. Lee's art class. The task was to paint a tree, but Jamie accidentally knocked over a container of blue paint, splattered his almost perfect tree with unexpected blue dots. Almost immediately, tears welled up in his eyes. But Mrs. Lee, with a gentle smile, pointed out, "Look, Jamie, your tree now has a unique pattern. It's like cherry blossoms in spring but blue. Why don't we call it a magic mistake?" Jamie, sniffy, back tears, peered at his painting. It wasn't ruined, it was different, and beautifully so. Throughout the year, Jamie learned that Kids Learn as not just a name but a belief. Each class, from science experiments gone awry to misspelled words and spelling bee contests, was designed to show that errors were not dead ends but paths to discovery. By the end of the school year, Jamie wasn't just a bundle of nerves afraid to get things wrong. As a confident explorer, learning voraciously through missteps and blunders. With every mistake, the children at Kids Learn didn't just fill out their notebooks. They expanded their horizons, embraced creativity, and most importantly, unlocked the magic of learning. One beautiful mistake at a time.